Hi guys, it's Leia. I am so sorry. I dropped the ball for the last few days. It's just been absolutely crazy here. I don't really have much of an excuse. It's just been sort of hectic with daily life. But yeah, so don't worry. I know I haven't done day 5 or day 6, and today's day 7 of the 31 days of Witchcraft challenge that I have given myself to do. And I'm going to be doing them all in this video. It's quite late tonight, but I'm going to film this and then go to bed and start tomorrow fresh. So if you're watching this, yay, thank you, and thank you for sticking it out. Alright, let's get into it. Day 5 of the 31 Days of Witchcraft challenge. The question for the day is, have you ever had a teacher in the craft? Ever taken a course or classes to help you with your witchcraft? And what were your experiences with that? And if you haven't, how are your thoughts on and feelings on such courses? I have had a couple of teachers. I haven't taken any courses. Mostly because I don't really have the funds for that kind of thing. I've wanted to, and I have bought a few things that are kind of like books of shadows and stuff on discs and stuff from eBay and that sort of thing. And they were alright, they just weren't. It's not the same as having a teacher. And as far as teachers go, I had my mum who sort of gave me the tools necessary and explained things to me, but she never really, went, this is how you practice, this is what you need to do, and that sort of thing, because, as we all know, everybody's path is unique to them, and, where you take it, you go with it. My other teacher was a friend of hers that that I think was more of a teacher for her than for me. But he was a family friend. He still is a family friend that we haven't seen in a very long time. But if you're out there, L friend, hi. Love you. Miss you lots. Yeah, and if you know him, yay! If you don't, I don't really know how to get in touch with him. Please drop a comment. Let me know if you know how to contact him, and so we can have a catch up or something like that. Yeah. And Elfrin was very down to earth and sort of was the first person to show me a different way to practice than my mum. My mum's very studious and very book heavy. And so, the things that she knows and she practices in a certain way that is very intense, I'd say. It's not so much nature heavy as Elfriend was, and him opening up that sort of natural way of being and experiencing life sort of showed me that I don't, he showed me that every witch practice is a different way, while my mum explained it to me that, everybody's path is unique to them and all that sort of stuff. I never really understood it. It never really clicked because I didn't have that visual. And so having that second teacher just sort of show me, oh, okay, so this is a completely different way to practice and it's very unique to you. And, having that visual really connected that for me. And yeah, but that was when I was a teenager. So that was about, oh gosh, I think that was about 10, maybe 12 years ago. Wow, that's a really long time. But in saying that, I have really taken to heart the everything that I've learned from them, and I've really wanted to get more involved with learning from other people and experiencing that connection that you get from having that communication, from experiencing someone else's energies. I just haven't been able to connect with those people or find my tribe, as they say. Sort of get that connection or find the right teacher, which is something that I really wanted. But hopefully, sometime soon, I will find someone that I can really connect with and learn from on a person-to-person level rather than through social media or YouTube, which I'm not against. Again, I'm not against it. I am a part of it, and I am wanting to be more a part of it. It's just that having those energies really, really does aid with teaching. I think if you're not into that sort of thing and that doesn't really work for you, by all means, you do you. Because each of us have our own way. It's just, for me, you can keep telling me stuff online, or you can keep telling me stuff and showing me books and giving me stuff to read, which I love, and I do all of that, and I do love all of that. I just, sometimes things don't really click until I physically have a connection to that experience. So yeah, as far as teachers go, that's it. Sorry, I'm filming on my phone today, because, well, my laptop's charging and I don't have another camera at the moment because the camera I bought to do all this is stuffed. So this is what I've got, and this is what I'm going to do for a while. The question that I'm going to do for my what kind of witch are you tag for my day 5, I wrote down was, how long have you been practicing? I've been a practicing witch since I was 13. Because I think, as I've mentioned in previous videos, I grew up with the craft as a part of my daily life. You know, my mum's a witch. She's been a witch for as long as I can remember, and it's just where I felt most at home in the craft. So when I turned around to my mum, I said, I want to be a witch too. I want to practice, and she said, well, wait until you're ready, and you'll know when you're ready, and then when you are, just no casting in the house. And that was her only requirement, was to not cast in the house. And she's like, look, this is the safe zone. We're going to make sure that it's just happy energies and all that sort of stuff. So I don't cast in the house, you don't cast in the house, them's the deals. And I was like, alright, no worries. So obviously I needed to wait until I was able to be outside the house and be private and not be disturbed and so that sort of stuff. So yeah, 13, I dedicated myself and started my path, my solitary path so far. But yeah, looking forward to future. Day 6 for the 31 Days of Witchcraft Challenge. The question is, do you incorporate environmental sustainability into your craft? As much as possible is the answer. I'm vegan, so environmental sustainability is one of my big priorities. It's one of the reasons that I'm vegan. It's not that I don't love animals, because I do. I love them so much. I have 4 pets for a reason. I love getting out into nature, and so environmental sustainability is something that I'm really, really passionate about. And so yeah, whenever possible and wherever possible, I'll either reuse jars like no tomorrow. Literally, I have I have an empty jar of garlic that I've washed out that's currently sitting on my sink drying, because I'm going to use it for something. I don't know what yet, but it could be a spell jar, I don't know yet, or it could just be for holding herbs. No idea. We'll find that out when it happens. And I do get vegan candles, not because they're specifically vegan, but because they actually melt better, and I don't know, they smell better. But you know, cost is a big thing for me because I'm a single parent. I have one income that is my livelihood, and making sure that I've got enough for myself and my son and everything that we use is a big thing. And environmentally sustainable plastics and all that sort of stuff can be quite expensive. But when it's possible, I will get it. Like, for instance, I've got recycled alfoil that I use in spells and cooking, all that sort of stuff. Because environmental sustainability is a big thing for me. Yeah, wherever possible, really. If it's not possible and I'm really wanting to do a spell or a ritual where, one of the things that I'm needing is too expensive to do it sustainably, then I won't. But it's wherever possible, and I think that's the best that you can do is the best that you can do, and that's enough, and it should be enough. And I think if more of us did as much as we could, then the better it will end up being. So yeah. And the question that I put with that one from the what kind of witch are you challenge was number 28, which is tools. Handmade only, natural materials, or only need my will, or anything that you want to use it. Look, I think anything that does work for you works for you. I have a combination of stuff that I use. I've got glass that is just coloured, that I have on my altar that is, part of, it's something that I've imbued spirit into. It's something that I've connected with and associate with, and it's not, it's completely man-made. It's not something that it's natural or anything like that. But I also have, bits of bark that I picked up on the beach. I've got a combination of all sorts, and I use all sorts because it works for me, and I think that's enough. It's like the environmental sustainability thing. Whatever works for you, and whatever you can do is the best that you can do, and I think that should be enough. So yeah, I think we need to be more accepting of our own limitations and be okay with the fact that we're not all going to have the same stuff or practice the same way. And I think that's good, because if we were all the same, things would get kind of boring really quickly. And I'm not a boring person. I don't like to be a boring person. I have rainbow hair, and it's vegan. It's more about, making your craft more like yourself, which, it's gonna be a combination of whatever is more yourself. If you are someone who doesn't really connect to man-made objects or things that you haven't, you don't connect with tools that you haven't made yourself or haven't found along the way, then don't use them. If you find that you work best with only things that you find on the beach or, on a nature hike or something like that, and that is what works for you, and that's how you best work your craft, then by all means, go natural, live your best life. And I'm 100% for that. So yeah, anything that works for you, and you should use it. If it doesn't work for you, then don't stress about it, because that's going to end up hurting you more, and not just your practice, but your state of mind. Because it was something that was really big for me, because I always thought, while I was growing up and I was first sort of getting into the craft, that I needed to have these specific tools, I needed to have this right stuff, and you don't. And I wasted a lot of time worrying about the tools that I had, and thinking, oh, I can't have an altar because I don't have the right tools. I was wrong, and it stressed me out, and it ended up doing some pretty bad damage on myself. And then, I realized I was making my own craft too hard for me to be able to practice, and it hurt not being able to connect with my craft. And I found some stuff, and I used leftover stuff from the kitchen and all that sort of thing. So I sort of built on that and went, you know what, this works for me, and I've continued with that. So my stuff is a combination, and yeah, I'm very big on doing what works for you and doing what's best for you, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It's what works for you. It doesn't matter what works for someone else. What works for them works for them. Be happy. Day 7 is today. Yay! It's officially 1 week's worth of videos, and I've not done them every day, but I will endeavour to get better. Day 7's question is, do you work with any specific animal spirit? If yes, which animal and why? If not, is there one that you would like to work with? I don't know. I have a lot of experience working with different animals on a real life daily thing, but not so much in my craft. It's not because I don't want to, it's just that I haven't found an animal spirit that connects with me wholly. I think if I was to get one and to work with one, it would probably be some form of feline,